So 22 letters. It may seem a little bit daunting, but that software is very, very helpful for learning the letters. Slide 13, Lesson 1, the Hebrew alphabet. Now we're going to have a look at different styles of the Hebrew letters. We have the traditional styled letters that have been created using a quill or calligraphy type pen that has a thick edge and a thin edge. As well as that, we have a more modern form of the letters, and that is the form that you should practice writing, and we'll see that on the next slide. Slide 245, Lesson 1, Writing Hebrew Letters. This slide is a supplementary slide that was added later to help you learn how to write the Hebrew letters. Okay, well first we have the 22 Hebrew letters plus the 5 final forms. The first one is Aleph, and that is written from the top left down to the bottom right. The diagonal stroke first, and then the other two strokes. So we have this part here, and in this very simple diagram they've just stylized it a little bit differently, but this is the way I like to draw it, just here. I go down here and then I put a little turn in there, and this one here I go down and like that. But in any case, this is the order that you do the strokes. The diagonal, long diagonal one first, and then this one, and then this one. 1, 2, 3. Second letter is Bet, and you go down like that with a little corner, rounded corner, and then this long stroke along the bottom, overhanging. Make sure you have that little overhang there. So first this part here, and then that part, and then a dash in it if it has one. Now these diagrams here are a little bit boxy or square, but this is the way I prefer to do it, as much like the Hebrew letters as possible. The Gimel, the first stroke is this one down here, and then second stroke there, that little foot or leg there. The Dalet, the horizontal stroke first, and then a little bit of a gap there, overhang, sorry, and then the vertical stroke down. The Hay, just like the Dalet, except there's no overhang, just goes straight along and then down, with a little bit of a curve in it if possible, and then a gap, and then this vertical stroke here. Then there's the Vav, and some people draw it with a little bit of a horizontal line here, but I prefer to just go straight down like that. The Zayin, just go down here first, slightly diagonally, and then down. So there and then down, whereas I prefer to do it like that and then down. Okay, then the Chet, down there and down there. The Tet, around like that and then up. This one's a lot squarer, but this is perhaps a better way to do it if you feel comfortable. Just put a bit of a curve there. Okay, the Yod, it's very simple, just a little flick like a comma. The Kaf, and of course it's just along the top of the line, see the dotted line there, just at the top. The Kaf, it's just like a back to front C really, just straight around like that. and then the final cuff. Here they've put a little bit of an overhang, but I prefer to go just straight down like that with a bit of a curve. So that's the final cuff in red. Lamed, just down like that, across, and then down like this. This one's rather angular. Again, I prefer to do it more like the lamed here. The mem, up, around, down, and across, a little bit of a gap there, and then put this little leg or tail or whatever you want to call it just in here. The final mem, around, down, cross, and back up. A little bit of a curve here, just there. The nun, down on a diagonal, straight down, and then across a little bit, but not very long, not long like this one, just a very short distance across. And the final nun is just like the vav, straight down, but it goes below the line, so it's much longer. Samak, around, straight across, down, and around, and up. So it's just a bit of a curve. Some people draw it just as a straight O, or just a round circle. But I try to do them as much like the calligraphy without getting into calligraphy. The ayin, this stroke first and around, and then this stroke second. In this diagram it's a bit square and boxy, which I don't like, but I've used these images instead of creating them from scratch completely. But in any case they show you which strokes to do and in which direction, and which to do first. Okay, the pay or fay, around, across, up, and around. This is boxy, but it should actually have a bit more of a curve there all around, like this one. Final pay, start here. On this diagram they go like that. I usually just go straight around like that, but you can start here and then go down and then do this little lip here. Then the tzadi, down here and across, and then this stroke here. So down, across, and a stroke here. And the final tzadi, down, and then this one across. I tend to put a bit of a kink in there, so I tend to do them more like this. These letters up here, not like these simplified letters. Okay, the kuf is across, down, and a bit of an angle, and then a vertical line below it with a bit of a gap in between. So that, and then this. And then the resh is just across, a bit of a curve and down. Again, this is a bit squarer. I don't tend to do it like that. And you want to make sure, however you do it, that there's a difference between the dalet and the resh in the way you draw it. The shin, just cross like that, and then up, and then the second one down like that. I tend to do it more just like this letter here. But in any case, these numbers show you which order to do the lines. And finally, tav, cross like that and down, and then the second one down with a little bit of a foot on the side. You've got to have that little bit of an overhang there. And that's how to write the Hebrew letters.